Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about understanding the Node.js architecture. So what I talked a few videos earlier about single-threaded, what does that mean even? So let's talk about that. Node.js uses an architecture called the event-driven non-blocking I/O, which means input-output model. Now here's what that means. It's single-threaded, but it can handle many requests simultaneously. And Node.js achieves this through something called the event loop, which allows it to manage multiple tasks efficiently without needing multiple threads. For example, in PHP, I think for like if we say for each user gets its own thread, right? But here, like all the users, we have thousands of users, and they're all using this one single thread. So let's break down key components. Number one, the event loop. So the event loop is at heart of Node.js. It's the main thing of Node.js, the event loop. Now you can think of it as a traffic controller. It decides what tasks to execute and when. So it's like a policeman standing on a crossroads, like giving orders. You can pass, you cannot pass, and things like that, to simplify it. So tasks like database queries, file reads, or API calls are sent to the background and are executed asynchronously, while the main thread stays free to handle other requests. All right. Now the second key component is non-blocking input-output. And that means that the tasks do not stop the program from running. For example, if Node.js is reading a file, it doesn't wait for the file to finish loading before moving on. It starts the process and keeps going. Once the file is ready, Node.js uses the event loop to handle the result. And the third one, asynchronous callbacks. So this is where we have this. So Node.js is all about callbacks, callback functions, right? This one in the pink. So anonymous. So this set timeout function is calling another anonymous function that returns console log. Right? This runs after 2 seconds, and it will run after 2 seconds as a second argument here, 2000 milliseconds. So when Node.js performs tasks asynchronously, it uses callbacks to execute code after a task is completed. So in this case over here, the callback function is only executed after the 2-second timer is up. All right. The next thing is the V8 engine. So the Node.js runs on Google V8 engine, which is the same engine that powers Chrome. It takes JavaScript code and compiles it into fast machine-level code, making Node.js super efficient. Now, of course, I will cover all of this in depth even more in future videos, I hope. So, advantages of this architecture. Node.js's architecture brings several benefits. Number one, scalability. It can handle thousands of simultaneous requests without requiring multiple threads. Efficiency. It uses fewer system resources, making it faster and lightweight. Real-time applications, ideal for apps like chat, systems, gaming, or live updates. All right, now I want to talk about something. So the fact that Node.js has only a single thread where all the operations are done, it's also that also has its pros and cons. So the pros, as I talked about here, are that it's very lightweight and very fast. However, on the cons side, we have this like non-blocking and blocking thing where you can, for example, give Node.js a task which will take a lot of time to complete, and as a result of that, Node.js says single thread, so the single thread of Node.js will be busy, and it will actually be blocked. So if you have if you've written your Node.js code in a bad way, in a way that it's using synchronous things that it shouldn't be using, in places where it shouldn't be using them, it will block that single thread, and no one of your users will be able to use. It will be blocked. It will not work. So compare this to PHP, which is completely different backend language, which gives each user a new thread where actions of that user are performed on his thread or her thread, doesn't matter. And this way, like each user gets his own specific thread, but as a result, PHP is of course not lightweight, and it's not. It's more resource intensive, right? So those are two completely different ideas of how to do things, two completely different mentalities. So the Node.js and the PHP. Just giving an example of that.